Arawelo, balance between power and care. Welcome to another story from our series, African Myths and Faith, Stories for Kids and Adults. Today, we travel to East Africa, to the ancient land of Somalia, where a legendary queen named Arawelo once ruled. This story takes us back many centuries, so far back that it feels like a time when the world was still young and people were learning how to live together fairly. Now, who was Arawelo, and why does her story matter? Well, Arawelo was not just any queen. She was a strong, fearless leader known for making big changes. She lived in a time when the laws were often harsh and unfair, especially to women. People say she challenged those old rules and worked hard to create a balance between being powerful and being kind, between ruling firmly and caring for her people. Imagine a place where the rules seem to favor only a few and many voices went unheard. That's the world Arawelo was born into. But instead of accepting things as they were, she asked, how can we make this better for everyone? And that question began her journey. Arawelo's story teaches us an important lesson. True power isn't just about being strong or making people obey. It's about fairness, listening, and caring for the community. She showed that a leader could be both firm and gentle, that strength and kindness can go hand in hand. Here's how it happened. When Arawelo became queen, she saw that the laws were strict, sometimes too strict. For example, women had very little say in their lives and were often expected to follow rules made only by men. Arawelo believed that everyone's voice mattered, and she decided to change the laws to reflect that. She started small. Think of it like this. Imagine your school has a rule that says only boys can be team captains. That doesn't feel fair, right? Arwella would say, let's change that rule so anyone, whether boy or girl, can be a captain if they're good at leading. That's the kind of fairness she fought for. But changing laws isn't easy. Some people didn't like her ideas and resisted. They thought the old ways were better because they were used to them. But Arwella was patient and wise. She listened to their concerns but gently explained why fairness and care were better for everyone. Slowly, people began to see that when everyone had a chance to be heard and respected, the whole community grew stronger. One story tells of how Arawelo balanced her power with care. When she had to make tough decisions, she didn't just order people around. Instead, she met with them, heard their stories, and made choices that helped the majority, even if it wasn't easy. She showed that a leader's job isn't to rule with an iron fist, but to guide with a thoughtful heart. Now here's a little activity you can try inspired by Arawelo's spirit of fairness. Think about a rule at your school or in your community that doesn't seem fair to everyone. Maybe it's a rule about who can play on certain teams, or when you can use the playground, or how people take turns. Imagine you are a leader like Arawelo. How would you redesign that rule to make it fairer? What would you change to make sure everyone feels included and cared for? Try writing down your new rule and think about why it would help bring balance between being strong and being kind. Arawelo's story reminds us that change starts with asking the hard questions and daring to imagine a better way. It's about finding balance, not just power for power's sake, but power mixed with care and fairness. Whether you're a leader or just someone who wants to make a difference, her story shows that true strength comes when we lift each other up. Thanks for joining me today on this journey to ancient Somalia. Remember, stories like Arawelo's aren't just old tales. They're lessons we can use every day to be fair, to be brave, and to care for the people around us. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep making your world a little kinder.